Begin by sitting in a cross-legged positions with your hand rested on your knees. Drop your right elbow down to the floor by you and lift the opposite arm up and overhead. Drop your opposite elbow, lifting your right arm now up and overhead. When you're dropping your elbow and stretching, thinking about exhaling and inhaling as you come back up, dropping your elbow and reaching overhead. Continue in this manner, really trying to create space between your ribs and your pelvis, thinking about plugging your sit bones down into the earth, the ground, lengthening the swinging arm as you exhale. Inhale, come back up, drop the elbow, exhale. Now with your right hand on your left knee, your right hand behind your sacrum, you're going to look over your shoulder, looking up at the right upward visual field, and then the lower right, and then repeat up and down. Switch sides, right hand on left knee, again looking up and looking down to the left, and repeating up, and then looking down again. When you're ready, you're going to inhale, come back to center. We're going to start with circles. Decide how big or how little you want to make your circle this morning. Incorporate your neck, your head, your upper trunk. Feel free to go as shallow or deep as you want, circling the other way now. Now we're going to go into a tabletop position. If you look between your knees, try not to see your feet. Your hands stacked under your shoulders. You're going to go into the classic cat-cow. Cat, rounding your back, exhaling. Cow, looking up, tucking your tailbone up into the sky. Now you're tucking your tailbone down, curling up as you exhale. Inhale, cow. Exhale, we're going to go into downward facing dog. Really reaching your chest towards your thighs. Here you can start pedaling out your feet, alternating right and left. Getting used to that length early this morning. You can even kind of play around with your hips, dropping your knees towards the inside, dropping to the other side. Really getting some play through the legs. From here, stretch out into plank. And you're going to make little circles with your heels, going in one direction and then the other direction, feeling the motion through your wrists and through the bottoms of your feet. Is a great stretch in the morning when that plantar fascia is a little tight. Drop your knees. Come down onto the floor, baby cobra. Push back up into child's pose. Enjoy the release in your low back. Maybe shift to one side. Shift to the other side. Shift again if you want, lengthening one side and lengthening the other. Coming back into tabletop position. Threading the needle, you're going to reach up, rest your hand down, drop your head. From here you can take your top arm and stretch overhead. Bring it back into that position, reach overhead, tuck it in behind your tailbone, getting a little bit more out of your twist. I'm using a fist there because my wrist was bothering me that morning from my fall earlier. Thread the needle now on the other side. Same thing with that top arm, you can reach overhead. Enjoy a few breaths here. And when you're ready, you can take that top hand and reach it overhead. Tuck it in behind your tailbone. Get a little bit more out of your twist. And take that left hand, plant it back on your mat. Get back into all fours. Tuck your toes. Lean back into downward facing dog. This time you're going to take your right leg up and over, making little ankle circles in one direction and then circling them in the other direction. Now we're going to do the same thing with the knees, circling, getting some motion out of the hips. And you're going to circle back the other direction. Bring that knee forward, your foot planted between your hands. Enjoy a little bit of a hip release here on the left side. Kind of leaning in. Now we're going to take that hip flexor and stretch it a little bit differently by being more in an upright position. Here in the morning, you may want to just kind of find your balance. Get into your cactus arms, feeling and finding some stability. Plant your hands back down. Bring that foot to meet the other one in your first forward bend of the day. Here your knees may be a little bit more bent than you normally have them, especially in the morning. You can cradle your elbows and let the traction just give you some release in the spine, letting your head feel heavy. You can kind of swing them in a yes position, kind of a no position. Planting your fingers, flat back, forward bend, reverse swan dive all the way up. Swan, hands back to heart center, and then we're gonna swan dive all the way back down. Letting yourself stretch here for a little bit more. If the ground is too low, you can always grab your shins or even your knees. Step back with that left foot. Again, stretching that same hip flexor, this time with a little arch in the back. Come back down. Now we're going to go into a little twist, taking the right arm overhead, tucking it behind your tailbone. You can tuck it in by your side and get a little bit of a bind here by reaching your left arm around your knee. Plant your left hand back down, back into downward facing dog, which may feel different than the downward dog you started with. You're going to take your left arm or your left leg overhead, ankle circles in one direction, ankle circles in the other. Now to the knee, we're going to circle around in one direction and circle around in the other direction. And take that knee towards the center, placing your foot between your hands. Get that stretch out of that right front side of the thigh and the body. Maybe a little rocking just to get different fibers. When you're ready, you're going to change that hip flexor stretch just slightly by being in an upright position, arms overhead, trying to find stability strength, maybe a little quietness as you stretch that hip flexor, making sure your tailbone is tucked in. You could do cactus arms like before or not. Step forward into forward fold. Here your knees might be a little straighter, but let's cradle those arms again and let traction do its job. Gravity allow you to get a little bit more out of your spine. Straight back, looking up, forward fold, reverse swan dive all the way up, hands back to heart center, swan dive all the way back down. Step back with your right foot so we get that same hip flexor, arms overhead with that little bit of an arch this time. Hands, one hand down, the left arm reaching overhead, tucking it behind you to that hip. If you want a little bind, you can wrap that right arm around the left knee. Place your hands back on the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. And again, maybe a deeper dog this time. You can play around with your hips again. Always feels good. Into plank, this time chaturanga, all the way down to the mat. Here we're gonna take a one-legged bow pose, grabbing the top of your foot. Here you can use a strap or a towel if you can't quite reach your foot. And you're gonna lift that knee off that mat as you lift your shoulders and chest up as well. You can take your right arm and stretch overhead as well if you'd like a little bit more of an upper body stretch. And a little bit of a twist. Gently lower that leg. Now the right foot. Grabbing the top of the foot. Little mini bow pose. Pulling that knee off the mat. Shoulders and chest up. And you can look straight ahead. I'm looking down. Now you're going to take your left arm, stretch overhead. And then when you're ready, you're going to gently lower that right foot back down to the mat. This time we're going to go ahead and go with both feet. Lifting up, both knees off the mat, chest, shoulders off the mat. Lower back down gently. Press back into child's pose. Here you may need to make some adjustments. I know I do sometimes with my left shoulder. My AC joint can be a little wonky sometimes. I adjust and now I'm comfortable. Find what works for you. A little swing side to side. Play around with it if you want. We're gonna go into wide-legged posture. Spine nice and tall. Taking a few breaths here, kind of reaching your chest forward. Feeling a traction, kind of pulling. Then you're gonna drop your left elbow by the outside of your left leg and gently just lower your body wherever it lands. Reach out with that right hand towards the thigh. Now you're gonna take your arm overhead, then you're gonna bring it down to the other leg. With your left arm now reaching towards that right thigh or right leg. Just let your body go where it wants. Now you're going to walk your fingers out in front of you and use your mat to kind of help traction. You may be a little bit forward than you were on that first center stretch. Letting gravity just bring your head and chest down towards the mat. Trying to keep some length in your spine so you're not collapsing. Play around with your feet, making sure they're not pointed out, but rather towards the ceiling. If you want, lower your elbow, your head. Come back up, walk your hands to the left, one hand on either side of the knee, and head to shin pose with a little change. The other leg still out in a wide-legged sitting position. Enjoy the stretch in the right side of your body here, as well as the hamstring on the left. Now you're going to sandwich the other side. Hands on either side of the right knee, letting gravity pull you into this stretch. Coming back to the left leg, you're going to drop your elbow with your right arm overhead, kind of like we did at the very beginning. You know, your ballerina arms here. And men, it's okay to have these arms. Right elbow down. Left side. Stretching, making that arc. Going back to center, walking your hands forward, and you'll probably notice you can go a little further. Maybe now you can drop your elbows to the mat. Thumbs up, just to create a little bit of rotation in the forearm and shoulders. Come back up. Maybe get a little stretch in the neck. Tilting to one side, tilting to the other side. Maybe dropping that shoulder a little bit. You can play around with this. After my fall earlier, my neck was a little sore that morning. Now you're gonna get onto your back. Scoot forward on your mat. Come down with your knees remaining bent. You're gonna cross your left ankle on your right knee. And you're just pressing into that figure 4 position. And we're gonna change that stretch, bring that knee to the opposite shoulder. Maybe take that foot off the thigh for a little extra stretch. Now you can thread your hands and pull on that right knee towards your chest. And if this doesn't feel good to you, if your hip feels a little jammed up, don't do it. Next, we're gonna go to that same leg up in the air. We're gonna do some ankle pumps. And I want you to think about that heel lifting up and down. Here we can get a little bit of mobility in our nerve tissue, that famous sciatic nerve. Now we're going to take another branch of that sciatic nerve and get that moving. So some arm circles here with your leg off to the side. And then circle the other way. And if you're not really feeling it on the outside of that leg, drop your leg a little bit deeper. You're going to take that same knee, drop it to the right side of your body with cactus arms on the left. looking over your left shoulder. You may get a nice back release here. You may even feel a little bit of a pop. Then we're going to do a really similar thing. You're going to take that same leg now straight, increasing the lever arm, and get a nice back release. Straight arms this time, still looking over the left shoulder. Spend a moment here trying to get your back to just relax. Trying to let go of any gripping, holding. Use your breath to help you. Like back to the center, back down. This time we're switching legs. So your right ankle on your left knee, pressing into that figure 4. Pull that knee towards the opposite shoulder. If you want, you can pull that foot off the knee to get a little extra stretch. Back into figure 4, now pulling the left knee towards your chest. Slide that leg straight. Right leg up in the air, and we're doing your ankle pumps. Again, think about that heel coming up and down, up and down. Now you may not have sciatic nerve tissue tension, but such a great idea to keep this moving, this tissue moving. Off to the side, you're gonna do some circles. And if you need to go deeper, go deeper. Ankle circling the other way. Bend that knee, pull it across your body with cactus arms on the right, looking over your right shoulder. Letting just the weight of your left arm pull that right knee down. Straighten that right leg up in the air, let it come down to the side. Let's review. Bend that knee, looking over the left shoulder. Slide that right leg up in the air, let it fall to the side. Looking over your right shoulder. Leg back to center and bring it down. Go back into bent knee position. You're gonna cross your right leg over your left, arms in cactus, and you're gonna let your spine and legs fall to the right. Cross the other way and let them fall to the left, looking over your right shoulder. Widen your feet so they're wider than your hip width apart, dropping windshield wiper knees to one side, then the other. This is a great way to get your hips to move into both internal and external rotation. Walk your feet back to hip width apart. Straighten your legs and palms to the sky. Get ready for your Shavasana. I want you to think about letting your skin relax. All the muscles in your body hanging off your bones and relaxing. Your palms, your feet relaxed. The muscles of your face relaxed. Think about your bones feeling heavy. And relax your mind. If anything comes into your thoughts, just let it wash away like the tide. Start to waken up your fingers and your feet, your legs. Bend your knees, roll to the right, press up, and return back into cross-legged sitting, but this time, cross your legs the other way. Place your hands in an upward position, thumb to pointer finger. Be grateful for the foundation you have, the sufficiency that's given to you, the courage that you're given, the heart of devotion and forgiveness, your voice, the wisdom given to you, and the connection you have with the divine. Thank you for joining me in this yoga practice today.